Meeting to order. I'm not sure where it is. Good evening. This is the regular meeting, almost regular meeting of the Protection Board Review, Tuesday, October 3rd, 2023. It's been 3 months since we've had a meeting, so we all know each other. But we have a new member this year, or this meeting. I'd like to introduce Sue Wicks. And so first thing we have to do is swear Sue in so she can talk. So Sue, I'm going to swear you in. Let's see, you don't have to repeat after me. You just say I do.
I think we do typically ask her to repeat
Oh,
after
okay.
you. Yep.
Okay.
As you state your phrase. Yep.
Having been appointed as a member of the Architecture Board of Review.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
That's kind of long. Having been appointed to the Architectural Board of Review
Close enough. In the village of Lake Bluff, in the county of Lake.
in the village of Lake Bluff in the county of Lake,
Aforesaid, do solemnly swear or affirm
I solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United
and
States
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office
of the member of the Architectural Board of Review according to the best of my ability.
of the member of the Architectural Board of Review according to the best of my ability.
Okay, good. You're done.
I'm in.
And you're in the Army.
Yeah.
There will be a quiz in a half hour.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we did the roll call. Michael?
Oh, okay. Member Cottrell.
Present.
Member Dahlman.
Here?
Member Deegan. Member Caraway.
Here.
Member Strata. Here. Member Wicks.
Here.
And Chair Hunter.
Here. I
Okay.
guess I was supposed to
Everybody's
swear
here.
Susan in and do the roll call before.
I like that order. That's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
All right, so next on the business is the consideration of the minutes from way back in June. Anybody have any collective memory on that? Here it is. Any comments? Corrections?
I move approval. I second.
Okay. Roll call, are we doing roll call on this stuff still?
Yep.
Okay.
Or no, actually, we can do this one just.
Okay, we'll do
voice vote.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No.
Good.
Good, moving right along. Do we have any non-agenda items for visitors either in the audience or at home?
Well,
We have no one online.
Oh, yes.
I'll introduce myself. I'm Dr. Harold Evans. I'm here on behalf of the 50 East Center Condo Association, just literally the building next door to this. And I'm here, I believe you're going to discuss the English pub, which will be behind
Right.
our building. Okay, so I just want to see, I noticed from our minute meetings that back in 2020, I guess this got delayed possibly by the same things that are delaying. I noticed that our member at that time, Denise Petticourt, was at one of the, I believe she came to one of these meetings.
Yes. Can
And
you
we were
hold your,
talking about, I'm sorry.
and we'll get to that, so then you can,
Sure, okay, I just didn't want to leave everybody as a message as to who this is.
that's
We
okay.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate that.
And there is one person online, so just FYI to the person on Zoom, just press the button to raise your hand if you want to speak on an item, and then we'll recognize you. Okay, but they're not raising their hand now, so we can go on.
Okay, well, then the first item on the agenda is exactly what you're talking about, which is the building alterations for a pump at 101, 113 Strand Avenue. Gary?
So first, Scott, you want to?
Scott, can you, you don't have to leave.
Oh, he does.
Building.
That is recommended. Well, to step out of the room is recommended.
I said it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's very.
Yeah, right, yeah. You can come down.
All right, Mr. Bond.
I have a question, I'll ask for the
Yeah.
Gary, it's your show.
And then regarding the slides, is Mike forward those, or?
Yeah, I can
When we
flip
meet or
through
whatever.
them here, let's see here.
The first one said an area review, but that.
Yeah, is this where you want me to start?
That's fine, I think, sure.
Okay,
Sure.
yep, and
Okay.
let me just hit my.
All right. I'm Gary Lawrence, 362 West Prospect here in Lake Bluff. It is my home residence. We'll be presenting this petition tonight representing Lawrence Property LLC as co-owner of the building with my brother Jeff Lawrence and the Community Pub of Lake Bluff LLC. The primary intent of this petition is to seek reapproval for the adaptive reuse of an existing vacated bank drive-through on the south end of our property and to repurpose the structure as an authentic English pub and garden. This petition was originally submitted and unanimously approved in February of 2020. However, we wish to make a few modifications to the design of the floor plan, and as a result, we are directed to return to the ARB for review and consideration of these plan modifications. This petition was also approved at last month's PCZBA meeting on September 20th. So tonight, I will present both the prior approval as well as the proposed modifications that we are seeking. And I guess, Mike, let's look at those. The Lawrence family purchased this Scranton Avenue property building known as the John Griffith Store Building in 1979, and that's when we opened our family business, Lawrence Interiors. Many improvements have been made over the years, and in 2003, the building became individually listed on the National Register of Historic Places. In 1994, Lake Forest Bank and Trust became a tenant and added a drive-through facility seen in this photo. I guess we'll go back. There. Yep, that one. Seen in this photo, they added that in 2004, 10 years into their lease. 10 years after that, in 2014, the bank vacated the premises once they purchased Bay Tree Bank at the corner of Scranton and Sheridan. Subsequent efforts to secure a tenant for this space that could utilize this drive-through were unsuccessful. Lawrence Property LLC and the Community Pub of Lake Bluff wish to redevelop the abandoned drive-through area for use as the English-themed pub and garden, serving both food and drink. We believe that both the design of the pub and the garden area will contribute positively to the businesses in the central business district and the surrounding area by redeveloping what is currently a vacant and underutilized space. We feel qualified for this venture as we have spent the past 30 years traveling throughout England studying the history of the English public house while collecting and reselling English furnishings at our store. Our family has been instrumental in other projects like this, such as the original renovation to Deer Path Inn from 1990 to 93. We provided our expertise in a similar fashion, and we obtained designation for their property, Deer Path Inn, and put them on the National Register as well. I'm going to show you a few photos of the existing drive-through as it exists today, which is this end seen from the western side. There are 2 lanes, and then the 3rd lane on the left is a walk-through and HVAC systems under there. So yeah, Mike, if we can go forward. This was the original proposal that was approved back in 2020. And is there that, let's go forward again, Mike. Yeah, that's the current drive-through again. If you want to slow any of these down, just tell me. And this is seen through Scranton Alley. So there are 4 access points to what would be the pub. Where the truck is on the left, there through the drive-through, this is a easement for gas, electric, phone, cable, drainage, and as part of what was agreed to with Banquet, this easement has to remain open, and I think it's about 10 feet wide. So we're not going to be building anything on that. It will remain a walk-through either from the gazebo or the library. You would have access or from Scranton Avenue down Scranton Alley or through Village Hall's sidewalks. this was the brief fly-through, the original plan that was approved. In this plan, we took the building farther back to the south, and now we're not taking it as far. And part of that deals with just the cost became prohibitive to do this type of thing, and find investors to, you know, agree to it as well. But this is more or less a refresher. We'll still have the same, you know, feel and integrity. And of course, that back wall is already there, right out the back window here. So Scott left this here for a short spell, designed using high-quality traditional materials consistent with the current building that's there, the common brick, et cetera. You know, really trying to preserve the integrity of the architecture. And that building to the, you know, right in the center, to the back, that was going to be the kitchen area, and we're not going to build that now. We're going to have the kitchen in the old garage, which is still there. So we move forward then. So after consulting with numerous experts that we have hired in the restaurant business, several recommendations were made to improve the utility and the flow of the floor plan. And I think this is the before floor plan that was approved.
Yeah.
And this is what we're looking at for the after. So if anybody'd like me to go up there and kind of point out differences, I'm happy to do that. But basically, we've added a little bit more to the garden, and we've gone down in the interior seating area. And also the restrooms were moved to the north from what is now the kitchen. We have the restrooms in that space. We moved them into our current space at Lawrence Interiors. And then where the garage is, that would now be the kitchen area. Any questions so far, or shall I continue?
Keep going.
All right. So these are elevations that we had from prior. This is looking from the gazebo from the west side towards the side of the building, going through Scranton Alley. And this is what it would be now with the low set wall. So again, it would not go as far back to the south. And the entry would be literally, again, underneath the the current drive-through area. Go ahead, Mike. And this would be looking from the south. However, the left side, we have that wall in the back too, so you really wouldn't see all of that left side from the south. And then the entrance to the garden area on the right. Let's go forward again. Yep. So this is basically where it would be now. There'd just be a window in that entry and the same, bay window. And this would be from the east side, looking from the library. And that double door garage, that look would continue to just stay there. We just wouldn't use the garage anymore. We'd block it up, and that would be the kitchen area. So I think that was the original square foot total. That first one, go back one side, yeah. That one was 2106. And then what we're proposing is total square footage on the next slide of 2187. So 81 square feet additional, less to the inside. And we've, just used more of the outside, and we've had more, I believe, on the inside as well, with the bigger kitchen, restroom areas. And there's the overview. And so, in conclusion, we hope the board has a clear understanding of the intent of the project and the proposed modifications that we're looking to make. We again are excited about the impact of this project on the downtown area and the community. COVID and investors not wanting to invest, so we, during that time, revisited with restaurant professionals and looked at the overall project and the costs, and this is what we're coming back with now, and we're directed by the village that it has to go through all the necessary procedures again, ZBA and ARB and village board, so that's it.
Okay, thank you, Gary. Now.
Okay, can you put your second to the last slide back on, 1 second?
Sure.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That one.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so I
Could
just,
you, excuse me, sir, could you state your name and address?
oh, yes, my name is Dr. Harold Evans, EVANS, and my address is 60 East Center Avenue, Lake Bluff, Illinois, 60044.
Thank you.
And it is illustrated nicely here because I believe I'm there. Okay, so this is the condo complex. And let me see. I think, am I correct in thinking that this is kind of the area where the...
Yes.
Okay, so we're thrilled to, for development in downtown Lake Bluff. And our sole concern would be the possibility of noise if there, mainly, since it's an alcohol serving establishment. So you see there's a wall here separating our parking lot from whatever is on the other side, which, includes, this must be that easement. And so, because this is all residential. And we have balconies, you can't see them, we have balconies here and windows. So we certainly have no noise problem at present, but anything that did happen could impact on, particularly on the apartments at this end of the complex. So I think last time in particular, there was this wall, which is in adequate shape, but there was some talk about increasing the height of that wall. I believe you and Denise talked about that.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember whether it was the height. I do know that it was going to be an insulated wall.
Yeah.
Right now it's wood, and I think it was going to remain that, but two-sided with insulation.
Insulation and I think also possibly increased height. I mean, and that we would greatly appreciate that. I understand this is a 2,000 square foot. It's not. I'm not terribly terrified here, but we do need. Obviously we all want to work together to make this work for everybody in downtown Lake Bluff, including residential and business. So that, and also I think, what was at that time they were talking about the closing time? What was the proposed closing hours?
That was going to be tied into the current overall village new closing hours that's general for everyone, which I believe, off the top of your head.
I don't know what that is.
I believe it's 11 p.m. on like Friday, Saturday. Let me see if I have any of my last notes.
I know there has been talk about doing consistent conditions for all the different restaurants, special use permits.
I think it was, the dining were like 6 to 11 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, but having to close outdoor at 10. And then Friday and Saturday, I think, was 6 to 12 with outdoor closing at 11.
And what kind of musical entertainment did you plan at this point?
The only quote-unquote entertainment we would have is just some speakers. Someone, I guess, the closest thing would be to what Innovasi has outside. So it's maybe just a little background music, but we're not looking at having, Irish jig concerts or bagpipes or maybe some special occasion, your birthday or whatever. No, really not a musical venue.
But okay, so I think, I'm not sure, I have the minutes from our I didn't bring it with me, although it's electronic, but all that says is that Denise came here and discussed it with you. At that time, she said something about a 9 p.m. closing time, which I realize sounds extremely early. But for the most part, we'd particularly like to see improvements to the wall and higher and more insulated, just in case. And
The current wood fence down.
Current wood fence, yes, because that's, I mean, also I don't know what the, type of permit, I mean, there's a range of live music. If you have somebody playing a fiddle, that probably wouldn't matter. If you have an amplified band, that would be very different. It doesn't sound like that's what you're planning, but I don't know I'm not totally familiar with the Lake Bluff ordinances on having live music or anything like that. I understand our concerns are, forgive me if we seem a little paranoid, but our property would be dramatically impacted if there was a significant increase in noise. I don't think there will be, but we want to get ahead of any concerns on it.
To me, it doesn't seem paranoid, it seems concerned, and other concerns too. If the directive was, and probably a site visit wouldn't hurt too, but if you got out there and said, well, it's 6 foot now, I think, if it went to 7 foot, that would help more for a fence, or the brick fence, that would be
Right.
6 foot to make that 7
I
foot.
would- 7
We're open to some change, because there are two, for that outdoor dining, there would be 2 fences, one being a wall of brick, the other being the wooden fence down the drive-through.
One thing I do want to mention, Dr. Evans, regarding the hours and all that, I don't know if you were able to go to the Plan Commission discussion or presentation on this, but this is, really 2 paths that merge. They went through Plan Commission for their special use permit and went through here, where our main concern here is the appearance review, and then they both go to the village board for the village board to have the final say. So some of the things such as
I
hours
didn't receive a
of
notification
operation.
about the planning, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I didn't
Yeah.
receive a notification about the planning commission, so,
Okay.
but I did receive one about this, which is on here.
Yeah, right, which is, we're glad to hear what your concerns are, but some of the things like hours, we probably won't, this board probably won't opine on, but we can share your concerns with the village board for the final approval when both
Sure,
paths join.
when, do you know when that would be planned?
It will probably be next Monday evening.
Next Monday evening?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It will be on the Lake Bluff website?
It will, yeah, it
Okay.
will, yeah.
All right, okay, I'll try to make sure I come to that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think then, I'll just summarize briefly. We'd like to see the fence/wall improved. That probably would be beneficial for the stability of the wall anyway. And our sole concern is noise. So we're, beyond the fence wall, we would be concerned with amplified music or loud speakers or, dance events, anything like that. I don't, so.
May I speak to that? I think just from the respect of what we've been trying to deal with as owners of our building with what's going on in Scranton Alley with Prairie Espresso too, with music, that is something that's been approved for special events. We're I guess basically testing the waters and knowing that you can always go backwards and say, this is way too loud, you can't do this.
Well, we'd love to not ever have to do that.
Right.
We'd love for it never to be too loud, rather than for it to be too loud and then we have to
Right.
do whatever it takes to stop it.
Yeah.
And that would obviously be beneficial for you too, that it never gets too loud and forces us to, that's
Right.
what we want to avoid.
Okay.
It doesn't sound like it's a very problematic project, it's just that it's exactly behind our
Yeah.
budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for your comments. Is somebody online that wanted to talk the same thing?
There's one person online, but they have not hit the button to raise their hand, so I don't see any sign that they want to speak.
Okay. Then, let's start with you. Art? Art was not here, I don't think, when we did this the first time around.
No, I was not.
Yep.
You mentioned a wood wall, but I'm looking at these drawings and it appears to indicate a masonry wall.
Yeah, I'll show you. Right now, this area is the easement all the way through here.
Right.
Okay. Right here is the wood wall, or wood fence, I should say.
Right.
Then there is a little cutout here that I think is like gas phone, electric, some sort of box that's right in here. There's a little cutout. So it's just, I think it's like a 6 foot high fence now, and we supported it with some iron so it wouldn't fall over. One time it was hit by a truck, you know, that was backing out or something back there. So we're trying to save, but we thought, you know, just the cost of replacing the fence was almost $7,000. We thought if we're presenting this, let's try to save it for now until we get the approvals and build this thing, so.
So
But
I'm
that's the
looking,
wood fence, yeah.
I'm looking at the 2023 proposed plans, and the walls surrounding the garden, those are masonry.
Can you switch to that one?
Sure. Let's see. How is this one? Are you want me to go for another one? For
Well, I was
different
looking
locations?
at the floor plan.
The floor,
Oh,
okay, in here.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
this one, yeah.
Yeah.
So this and here would be the brick walls, correct? Is that
And the
right?
fence is down on the bottom edge of the drawing there on that.
Right, it's not really even
To the
shown.
right. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, along this
And
line should be the new.
It says tall wall. How tall?
I think we were planning for it to be like a 6-foot wall. I would have to ask the gentleman that stepped out to make sure. But yeah, on that current plan you're looking at, let's go to this one, Mike, that has a, let's see here.
I think it's this right here.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like six.
Am I going the wrong way?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the other way.
No, I wouldn't agree with
That?
No,
That's
that's
it.
it.
Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah, okay.
yeah, that would be it. So height is not showing on here.
I would guess that it's somewhere a little about 4 feet, just looking at the.
Yeah, there's a 10-foot
Is that-
Right, yeah,
Designation.
4 feet,
Yeah.
sounds,
4 to 5.
Yeah, four plus maybe.
Yeah, I think it was higher than 4. I thought we were saying we didn't want to see over the top.
Yeah, it looks like 5.
Right, there's a door in that elevation that gives us a good height reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like over 5 if I draw that line. Dissect the 10-foot mark.
okay.
But if architecturally speaking, you said, geez, you're going to do a 5.5 or do a 6, that will alleviate, you know, these are open, yeah, without taking away the look. It's not a problem, I don't think.
Well, I was thinking more of the issue of sound.
Right, that's what I meant, that if that would help it by going up higher. Yeah.
So there's looks like 12 seats out there.
Like, can you-
Plus some couches or something.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so around the edge, in this area, like we sold Metro years ago, the benches that are at the train station would be these benches. So English garden benches here, and these are low tables, like, I think they're 18 inches high. So they could be pulled over and used if somebody wants to sit on, but basically it's gonna be tables in front of these, or tables on the side for cocktails. And on these benches, you can cram 3 in, but it's comfortable to seat 2
Yeah.
per bench, yeah.
I noticed in your first rendering, you had the walkthrough, that there was some shrubbery and some ivy and some plantings. Is there plans for that sort of greenery and stuff? Because that can kind of help with sound sometimes. too.
Yeah, I
Getting
think we're
some light.
looking at doing that on the east, or I'm sorry, the west side, where that lower wall is possibly, you know, could be a lower wall of greenery, but much like Prairie does, I think that's a great way to do it. where-
Because it can kind of absorb.
Yeah, with the big pots that can be
Yeah.
more bushes and that type
I
of
think,
thing.
I think that
It'd
could
be
help.
great to do that.
Yeah. I mean, anything helps if it's not all
Right.
hard surface,
Yeah,
you know?
right.
You got any comments yet?
No, I mean, it seems to me that,
You must be.
you know, I don't see anything really to object to.
Okay.
That, you know, again, the neighbors, the noise, those kinds of things seem outside our purview. So, but the appearance of it seems to me to be pretty attractive. Certainly a bit more attractive than what's there.
Yes. You?
I'm comfortable with it. That's it. I think it looks great.
I just had two quick questions.
You always do.
I know, it's so frustrating. First, I see you're relocating all the HVAC and AC stuff on the roof of the existing two-story? Is
That was what we talked about the last go-around.
Yeah,
This time.
there's a lot there.
Yes, and we have an issue that this go-around, we're thinking to keep it down low. Bluffington's has theirs right outside the back door.
Yeah,
Lawrence Interior's, our store has two of them, one for the 109 side, one for the 107 side.
yeah,
And then Soledad has theirs. We're thinking if we can put those right behind, or it's basically next to Bluffington's back there.
Mhm.
Since they're in the back now.
Yeah.
We put them next to Bluffington's if we can fit them in there. And I think Mike and I and our HVAC guy had that conversation. None of the apartments up there have AC that's connected like that. They're all window air
sure,
conditioners.
yeah.
So running it all the way up there, it starts to, I guess, lose its efficacy as the
Yeah.
thing yonders down
Yeah.
for feet after feet. So that's where we'd like to put it there, or, in that, somewhere in that back area, like Scott said, it will probably come out when you come up with the wall to do the final plans.
Yeah.
That's when and where we'll know exactly
Yeah.
where we can put that.
Okay. And then, Sue and I walked the area, I know you may, I don't want to take your question, but we had a question, in that garden seating that you have designated, we didn't see any, on the plans, any lighting. What's the lighting situation going to be there for evening dining?
We were just gonna have wall sconces.
Just some-
Wall
some-
sconces and little tabletop.
Oh, okay, so there's nothing overhead, you're not doing any kind of festoon lights or anything?
No.
Just, yeah, good. And then, can you, a little bit, just real quick, just out of clarification, because there's so much going on with the brick walkways, your new pavers and all that. Where does your paver stop? Is it right at the line of the overhead at the drive-through? Is that where your new pavers?
So right here, Prairie, literally, the Duke, Center Avenue Partners,
Yeah.
is doing some pavers in through this area again, extending.
Yeah,
out
extending
into the
that out,
parking
right.
lot,
Yeah.
So although the actual overhang of the drive-through is, I believe, right here,
Yeah.
the property line ends right here. So we would plan to do, some sort of brickwork through this area, right next to the building too. That would probably tie in with theirs.
Yeah,
you know.
I see, yeah. And then you would bring your pavers all the way through to the brick wall, is that correct? To the existing brick wall?
Well, we were thinking possibly not to. I mean, that's another question that we'd have with the village, because I know Clara and I think Mike had mentioned that we can't do any building on top of that easement. So I don't, like we couldn't go and get tables on it or
Right.
put up pergolas or whatever,
Right.
do something else. So we thought, well, maybe you can't do bricks either. So maybe it has to remain.
So your pavers may just stop at that low height wall?
Yeah, and we keep that as black asphalt,
Okay. And then you'd be coming back for your signage? Are you gonna have any kind of signage at all on this?
If we go to, let's see, where is the elevation looking at it from the west, Mike? That's the old one.
There's a new one.
This one. This is our signage.
So it's
And it
way,
goes-
it's on that little little
It's
entry?
right in the brick,
Okay,
and
Yeah.
it's a small brass sign with the name on it, yeah.
so that will be it, there'll be no other designations?
You have to be in the know.
You gotta be in the know?
You gotta be in the know.
Okay, I love it, I'm just,
Yeah, that's it.
just curious.
I mean, later on, if we come back and say, well, geez, we saw this neat thing, and it was funny because when we were on vacation over in Europe, we went visited a place that has like 6 places in London, and they have one of their places, and even though it was hidden like this in great marketing idea, nobody could find the place.
Yeah.
So they asked London County Council, whatever, if they could put one sign on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
And that's what they did on the sidewalk with an
Yeah.
arrow,
Yeah.
and they knew what alley to turn down. So I mean, maybe that would be something, but it's not part of it, you know?
That's it for me.
Okay, Sue, it's your turn now.
Okay, sorry for going out of turn, I didn't realize we went one by
I
one, so
forgot to
I
mention.
apologize. No, I don't have any questions, I think it looks nice.
Okay, thank you.
I think it's great. I liked it the first time, and I like it this time. As far as the wall goes, you know, and going back to the sound issue, I think a 7-foot wall or an 8-foot wall or a 10-foot wall isn't gonna make much difference, because the noise is gonna go this way. Such noise as there is, but this doesn't look like a raucous car club,
Yeah.
you know, the kind of a place where they're gonna have lots and lots of noise. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, you would have to stop the noise at the source. I mean, by the time it gets to that 7-foot fence, that fence, it's already
And the
dissipated.
balconies are up here.
Yeah,
So, although, first of all, I do agree with what you said. Having said that, we would love to see the, you know, the original agreement was to somewhat fortify the wall between ours. It's not our wall, it's between our parking lot and the easement, because every little bit helps. And I do want to emphasize, we would love to see this work. We would love to get rid of that ugly, you know, abandoned ATM drive-through and replace it with something. We just want to get on top of things and make sure everything is working really well for all downtown residents. And there's also, I have no relationship to the people who live in the rental apartments, but there are quite a number of residents in rental apartments on the other side of the parking lot as well. So there is quite a lot of residential property in downtown Lake Bluff. So this seems great, but we do want to make sure, you know, that our potential concerns are, you know, are not. So, but yeah, but we don't, yeah, it doesn't seem like anything that would cause a problem. It's just, you know, vegetation. So, and overall, we're hoping that you do well. We're delighted to get, I mean, I will personally be delighted to see that drive-through come down. It's kind of a pet peeve of mine since I've been here. So.
Yeah, to answer that, I would also say that if Scott, I would think, would have some sort of idea as to whether raising the wooden fence makes more sense or raising the brick wall foot. You know, I don't know the answer to that, but
I don't know.
maybe before that meeting, we could have an idea. Before
The answer to that is kind of simple. What stops noise is weight.
Yeah.
The wood fence doesn't do much of anything to the grounds. The brick wall does a lot.
Okay. Right.
And it depends on the height. If you've got balconies that are up this high, and the wood's this high, but the noise is here, it just can go right up.
Yeah.
Noise goes in all directions.
Yeah. I have two other thoughts that came up. One is when you mentioned the air conditioners, is some air conditioners, as an example, in middle school, are extremely noisy. Some air conditioners are very quiet. And
We want quiet because
exactly.
we have tenants in our building too, upstairs, so we want
But until they're
quiet.
installed.
And it's funny, I know up at Crabtree Farm one time, they had a building, I think it's still like that, where they did not want the air conditioner to be seen, and I think they buried it underground in some sort of container thing, am I right? Yeah. So we talked about that, and it's so extremely prohibitively expensive to do that type of thing, it's crazy. But it's funny that just the fact that these have been covered up for so many years, it's the original air conditioners, two of them from 1994, and they're still going. And I mean, and we take care of them, of course, that helps, but that they've been covered helps too, you know. But I think they need to be new. If we're gonna move them, we'll probably put in new ones.
Well, the other thing you mentioned was the easement, with like doing brick waivers on an easement. I don't know that it's specific to that easement, but I know I have a lot of properties with a lot of easements on them. And in most of the easements, we can do things like paving and stuff like that on top of the easement. The difficulty is that if the utility company has to come by and dig it up so they can get at it, the wires or whatever is down there, you aren't going to put the pavers back.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going to replace them. But it's not that you can't do it. It's that you've got to be prepared if they have to get at it, they're going to dig it up.
And as an aside, I don't mean to step on anybody's toes, if anybody in here is one of those people who does that parking, but there are always a lot of vehicles parked in that easement. And if that's actually something that the electrical company could need to get access to, that could potentially be a problem. None of the vehicles from our complex are ever parked there because we have our own parking lot right beside it, so we would never need to.
Those vehicles would be going away with this.
Yes, and that's another potential plus.
Yeah.
So,
Because there are 10 Bluffingtons that park on that easement now, I guess, so they don't have to send their employees to the train station. But they will.
Okay, any other comments from anybody here? No? Do we need a motion? Can we do something?
Would our motion need to include the fence again? I mean, are we, since that's part of the, it's not part of this proposal, right? So we need to reintroduce that?
I don't,
And what do we need to do with that?
I don't know. I think let's not include that as part of this. I'm just thinking off the top of my head because I don't think there's a valid solution to it yet.
Okay.
It's gonna burden, the owner with building something that maybe is gonna work. I mean,
Right.
You mentioned the middle school over there, because I got involved in that. Now, that was a big air handler.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so we said, put a block on the inside, and they put a little wall on top, and I don't know if you can still hear it, but that was a big thing. And Nancy didn't seem to help.
Or the generator.
Right.
Yeah, the generator over here, that's got a case over it, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think to answer your question, I think if there's an issue that comes up, then we need to address it later. But I don't see imposing a solution that we don't know what's gonna work.
Okay.
My opinion. So, we're still looking for,
So a motion to approve as presented.
okay,
Second.
second?
Second.
Okay, all right, roll call.
Okay, member Cottrell, member Dolman,
Aye.
member Deegan,
Aye.
member Fairweather.
Aye.
Member Wicks,
Aye.
and Chair Hunter.
All right,
Okay, motion passes.
so I just to make sure this doesn't really negate looking at something that may be required down the road.
okay, and just to reiterate, our dream here is that down the road, everything goes very smoothly. So that's what I'm here to do. And hopefully see you guys, some of you on Monday. So,
Okay, thank you for your comments.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.
Carrie, could you let Scott know that he could come back?
Wake him up. I hope we get,
There you go, canals.
yeah, I hope we get those Dunkin' Donuts for us.
Okay, so I know that we go in order, and I know that, but then after everybody goes, then we can.
That's kind
Then we
of,
can, it's a free for all.
Okay,
otherwise, we've been doing it this way.
no, that makes
The
sense.
next time, and
Yeah.
the next one, you start, so we go.
So you're next.
Then I feel like I'm on the hot seat.
Yeah.
I have to read the bill.
Yeah, get used to it.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move right along then. We have, okay, design review of building operations for Canal Floors at 409 North Skokie. And for those of you who haven't looked at it yet, that's the old mini building that we did some years ago. Okay.
Hi.
Name and address.
Charles D. Black, Black & Black Architects, 200 East Church Street, Libertyville, Illinois, 60048.
Thank you.
So, minor improvements to an existing building. That's the old black mini building on the property. It's kind of centered in the middle of the property along 41. We are increasing an existing opening by extracting some of the architectural panels off of an opening and increasing that by 8 inches. Minis were smaller than the new brand of vehicle that's planned for this building. So we have to make two of the piers a little wider. We're also doing it'll be easier if I just show you on here where that is.
Sure.
And I think it's here. So it's just two of these piers. The building has, it's a square building. It has a pyramid roof and it has multiple pairs of structural piers around the outside. So we're just modifying these two piers on the outside to make them slightly wider so the larger vehicle can get in. And then we're doing the same kind of thing to the existing door opening into the showroom, and we're just making it wider and taller. So same principal materials as what's there. And then part of the project's also to do a mechanical upgrade and replacement of existing grade-mounted split system air conditioning units. And I believe there's 3 of those systems, maybe 4. So we're getting rid of those mechanical units on grade and doing packaged commercial air handlers all in one at the back of the property on the east face in the easterly corner. The building kind of is situated not square to east, south, west, north, so it's kind of in the corner. So we've appropriately situated the new packaged rooftop equipment so that it's placed inward of the building overhang and barely visible on a compass heading. If you drive down 41, there may be 2 degrees of 360-degree compass angle that you'll see those rooftop units. So I constructed some wireframe painted orange to represent the 2 units that are going on the roof. So as you can see in these photos, they're pushed as far as we can from the rather large overhang of the front of the building. So they will not be visible except for just a sneak peek. I think in one of the pictures I showed that, driving down 41, I didn't crash, but you can barely see the unit. And then, so from the property line, they're not visible. That's about all I have. I don't know if there's any other commentary. If anybody has any questions, it's pretty straightforward what we're doing.
Okay, Sue, your turn.
Okay, so I went and looked with Matt and drove around there, and I noticed in your plans you had 2 different door options for that door. One was a sort of a rolling slatted one, and the other one had panes. And we were wondering which one you were preferring.
So right now, the front contender is the Rytec high-speed roll-up door. So if you go to the BMW service center, and maybe even the Mercedes-Benz, I think they have the same style of door on there. So it's just a quick-acting, slatted doorway. So on that picture on the right, that's what you would see. And the purpose of the slats is so that the retraction of the coiling door goes up quickly, and not unlike blinds, they need to be placed in slats so that they coil up quickly.
And that's your preferred one?
That's the preferred one. The alternate is a hydraulic style of door. So if my notebook is the door panel, it slides up into the opening like that. We've done the guillotine style, we've done the forward acting, but right now the Rytec door is the preferred door system. And either one of those doorway systems, the coloring of the frame, the metal part of the frame would match the principal building.
And then the only other thing was about the placement of the units on top, but I think Matt would articulate that better than I would.
Okay, he's got his turn.
The only question I had was, you have the 2 condensing or units on the corner, of the pyramid. Was there a thought of just kind of centering on that back edge, of the long side of the pyramid instead of kind of
Yeah,
violating the corner, not violating, but, concentrating on the corner?
Well, if we move some of those units, then we start having to add some more zones because
So
of
that-
ductwork.
That's right,
So I-
probably
instead of doing
based
3 or
on
4
efficiency.
units, yeah.
I'm just curious, like, why they were placed there
Yeah.
versus other locations.
So you'll notice on the top of the page, there was a old service drive that was built out at one time, so we're now air conditioning that.
I see.
So
Okay.
I did consider trying to push them around, but then we might have to add another unit, and it would be better just to include them all in one bigger zone.
Yeah, I mean, it is very hard to see them,
It's
no
very
matter
hard to
what we
see.
do.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you for the clarification.
sure.
Scott, what do you think? Sue, you done?
I'm done.
I have no questions.
You done, man?
I'm done, that was it, thank you.
I don't have any comments, so it's fine.
I tried driving by on 41, and I hope most people don't try to look at it.
There's a lot of things in the way.
Yeah,
It's
Even when I got off the
inappropriate.
highway to drive in at canals, you
Yeah.
gotta watch where you're going.
yeah.
Right.
I did not spend any time looking up at the trying to find the orange things.
At one moment when I was spray painting those frames orange, I'm like, why am I painting these orange? But,
Yeah.
you know.
I thought it was a brilliant idea.
Yeah,
Thought it would be fair, you know,
Yeah.
to see them.
I don't have anything else.
Art? No, I drove around there, I only smacked into a couple of cars, but I could not see them turning over on the back road.
yeah.
And I was looking, so.
Yeah, we pushed them as far as we could. There's a rather large overhang for that building, so we pushed them as far as we could towards the center of the building, so.
Yeah, as far as the choose the doors, I don't know, whichever door you end up going with is probably fine. You know, it's probably an economy thing.
Well, it's more the brand has a somewhat of a tall rack on the vehicle, so some of them are taller than others, so.
What
that's-
is the car that is gonna go in there? It's something I've never heard of, I think.
Can I introduce the GM, James Estuno?
Yes, hi. So this is the Ineos Grenadier, and we're one of 18 dealers that have been identified in the United States to sell it. We have the entire Midwest, about 6 states will be responsible for out of here. Ineos is a huge company based out of the UK. They have revenue of $65 billion a year. They're in plastics and oil and gas, and they're involved in Formula One racing, bicycle racing. They have their own Tour de France team, and world sailboat racing. The owner, it's a private company, he decided he likes a really strong sport utility, kind of like the old Land Rover Defender, so he built his own, and it's called the Grenadier, named after his favorite pub in London. And it's built at a factory he bought from Mercedes-Benz in France, the old Smart factory that Mercedes-Benz had. And those cars will be here in December for us to sell. We have 2 demos coming in a week. So if you want to come by and check them out, they're really cool. I mean, it's a unbelievable off-road vehicle. And they're in the $80,000 to $100,000 range. And as a lot of people say, it's a G-Wagon at half the price. It's a very stout vehicle. We're excited to sell it. It's a perfect facility. We'll be back here, I'm sure, in a couple of months with our sign package. We don't have the sign package yet from them, but it'll be the Knaus Ineos Grenadier. So, and we're real excited about it because we get to utilize this building, which turns out is the perfect size for us. So it's going to be great, and I can't wait to show you the vehicle. So please come by. Yeah, well, you're right. I think you'll be shocked with how cool it is. It's a very cool vehicle.
So it's in the same price as a big Range Rover then?
Well, believe it or not, big Range Rovers have gone much higher. So, you know, $80,000 is almost the price of a heavily loaded Jeep now.
Well, I guess you're right.
So it is there is inflation in the car business for sure. But we're excited on this project, and I think it's gonna really be nice when it's done.
Very good. Okay, well, here we go again. So we need a motion.
I move to approve as submitted.
Second?
Second.
Did you second? Okay. Scott second, all right. Roll call then?
Okay. Member Wick?
Aye.
Aye. Member Strata?
Aye.
Member Caraway?
Aye.
Member Cottrell?
Aye.
Member Dahlman?
Aye.
Member Deegan?
Aye.
And Chair Hunter?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, what other business do you have?
I don't have anything else.
Okay. We're there.
All right.
So does someone want to make a motion to
Anybody
adjourn?
want to make a motion to go away?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay. Second? All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye. Is this yours?